on, this is so intriguing. He's a world-renowned psychic medium and Oxford-educated attorney, and he's the keynote speaker at the International Association for Near-Death Studies this weekend in downtown Salt Lake.
Wow, and today Mark Anthony joins us to talk about his latest bestseller, The Afterlife Frequency. Welcome to Good Things Utah. We're so honored to have you.
Well, thank you, Dina. Thank you, Saray. It's an honor to be here.
We're already just diving in with you. So excited in the break. So let's just start with your ability. How do you describe what your special gift is?
Well, both my parents had these abilities. It runs for generations on both sides of the family. So when I was about 3.5 years old, I started interacting with my invisible friends, except that mom and dad could see them too. And the thing is, my dad was a Navy SEAL, my mom was a fashion illustrator, so these were not woohoo people. And so since the time I can remember, I've been able to perceive and communicate with spirits.
This is so fascinating. So how does the attorney part come into play?
Yeah, it seems like the two professions are polar opposites. Having been raised in a family of faith, I was going to go into the clergy, but I decided that there were too many rules and regulations, so I ended up in law, and talk about jumping out of the frying pan into the legal fire, so to speak. But both jobs are about evidence. Certainly an attorney can't prove his or her case without having evidence, and as an evidential medium, what I do is when a spirit communicates with me, I have to transmit verifiable information that can prove the authenticity of the contact. It's not just your grandmother's here and she loves you. I've got to be able to describe her personality profile, shared memories between the two of you, maybe things that are going on in your life that the spirit's aware of. And this is my life mission, is to help people understand that God exists, that the afterlife, heaven exists, that our soul is an immortal living spirit, that we can communicate with souls, and that we will be reunited with our loved ones when it is our time to leave this world. And spirit communication helps people who are coping with the crushing effects of grief to understand that someone you love so very much did not just disintegrate into nothingness.
Oh, and I want to talk more about that, but real quick, I just have to ask, when you are in court or you're working on a case, how does it inform that part of your job?
Well, I'm devoting my entire time now to my spiritual work, but before I left that, I tried over 100 jury trials. I was a prosecutor, then a criminal defense attorney, complex civil litigation. It's part of my skill set, and it helps me gain insights. And in fact, in my book, The Afterlife Frequency, I tell many stories about how the legal profession and my psychic abilities have intersected. And I've been consulted by law enforcement on cold cases, so I've done quite a bit of work behind the scenes with law enforcement to help resolve cases.
Okay, Mark, dive into some of the celebrities you've actually have done psychic readings for and who you've tapped into, one famous one in particular.
Well, I recently did a reading for Hilary Swank, which was really fascinating. She's just awesome. And I think one of the most memorable readings I did was for actress Shirley MacLaine, who recommended my book, The Afterlife Frequency. And it was so profound because during the connection with Shirley MacLaine, I started picking up on the spirit, and I described her, and Shirley goes, "Oh, Marilyn Monroe, she was a good friend of mine." And then another spirit came in, and I said, "God, this woman's so beautiful, and she's got these violet eyes and dark hair." She goes, "Oh, Liz Taylor." And it was at that moment I realized I was doing a reading for Shirley MacLaine while I was communicating with Marilyn Monroe and Elizabeth Taylor.
I love Shirley MacLaine. I've read everything that she has written, so if she's recommending and endorsing you, I can't wait to read yours. What is the one big message that you have, the big takeaway when thinking about the comfort of loved ones who have passed on and that access that you have to the other side?
Well, The Afterlife Frequency is a book that's different than any of the other books in the genre, because what I've done, I've spent my entire life studying the different forms of spirit communication, not just through a medium, but visitations. People have had dreams where a loved one comes to them, or if you've lost someone and you feel them around. Near-death experiences, that's why I'm speaking at IANS here in Salt Lake City. Shared death experiences, where somebody is actively dying and people in close proximity to them, family members, friends, hospice workers, they start to pick up on the spirits that are greeting the person as they're transitioning. And so I explain all of this in The Afterlife Frequency. by combining faith and quantum physics. So, I mean, one of my signature theories is known as the electromagnetic soul, and that describes what we really are, which is pure consciousness that is eternal energy.
Mark, why do you think people are so attracted to this? Because there's so many questions, so much mystery, and I'm sure people are craving answers in their lives.
My dad, the Navy SEAL and NASA engineer, told me when I was 8 years old, and he was one of the guys that was in the golden age of the space program, and we were looking at the stars, and Dad said to me, Mark, there's no such thing as a mystery. There's only questions for which we do not yet have the answer. And if you put enough research, focus, dedication, you're going to find an answer, no matter what it is, even spiritual things, and it's going to be based on science.
I absolutely love that you said that. Okay, full body chills. Where do we get your book?
It's on sale worldwide at all fine bookstores, Amazon.com, and you can visit my website, which is up on the screen, afterlifefrequency.com.
And your keynote speaking where and when?
Tomorrow, September 2nd, at the International Association for Near-Death Studies at the Hilton Salt Lake Center here in beautiful Salt Lake City.
Still tickets?
Absolutely.